Hey guys, it's Lisa with Thrive Vans. Today we have another beautiful van going out of the shop, and this one is kind of special because it has, well, it's a dog van. Let me just say that. This was made for 2 dogs. So this is a van that we have never done before. This is a medium roof Ford Transit. So it's a lot lower and a lot more engineering went into this van. When I say a lot more engineering, I am so thankful that we used 80/20 in this build because we had to rip out the first version of her design. It was no bueno. It was no bueno, and we had to start over. If we had to do that from wood, that would have been a nightmare. But thank goodness we had used 80/20 because this made it so much faster and easier for us to build that galley all over again. So this customer came to us with some really important needs, and I'll go over the first ones that are basically the outside of the van, and then I'll go into some of those inside details. But the outside of the van, per her HOA, could not look like a regular modified van, like conversion van. So her request was, it can't look like an RV and it has to be pretty stealthy. Otherwise the HOA is going to get upset with me. So we tried to do that on the outside. On the inside, there was very specific needs and wants that she needed. She travels as a dog trainer. She goes to a lot of shows. There needed to be a shower. There needed to be a sink. There needed to be an outdoor shower for the dogs. There needed to be a place and a home for both dogs. She also wanted upper cabinets. And in this small of a van, that was an engineering feat. That was tough. And she also wanted a 3-in-1 convection microwave oven, which are awesome, but we didn't know if it was going to fit in this van because we are limited on space. This is not your Sprinter 144. This is a very small van, but we were able to accomplish all of the goals she set out for us to build. So let's take a look inside. Before I go inside, I wanted to mention that we did a ceramic coating on the outside of this van. We love when women are traveling, by themselves, solo. I love to recommend the ceramic coating. Why? Because when you go to the car wash and try to wash off all those bugs, you don't have to just scrub and use your muscles so much. They will just literally fall off. And this ceramic coating makes this van look like glass. It is so pretty on this color. And I really, really love the way that it turned out. Okay, first of all, we put running boards on this van down here, and that's just because she's short. We also put a grab bar here so she can basically get in. She's 5'2", so she's not very tall. So this was added so that she can lift herself from the running board up into the van. Outside of the van, we have a little shoebox here. It's a little mini shoebox, but we tried to incorporate one in. Also, she has a mount here for her lagoon table. So if she's outside and she just needs an extra table, that'll be very convenient for her. Next is the dog kennel, and Travis did such a wonderful job building this kennel, and it is built into the bench, and it just looks amazing. So it's got locks on. There's actually a puppy that is going to be going in here, but let me see if I can do this. There we go. And there we have it. There's Spot, but it goes back quite a ways. These are Vizslas dogs that are going to be in here. Here's our lagoon table inside, and this will be great because she's got this bench here and she can use it here to do work, or if she wanted to swivel it around, she could actually use one of her swivel seats and turn it around and do work over here. So we love the lagoon tables. And so you could notice the beautiful wrapping job that we did on all of the B-pillars here, and we came over with that fabric and it ties in there. We did not put a headliner shelf on this van. We felt like it would be too congested. It's just very small, and it has a kind of a smaller little compartment right here that she can hold stuff in. Moving on to the kitchen galley. We put a blackout shade over here. Let me show you that. To a beautiful window, so she has lots of light, but at night she can have her privacy. So at the top of her list, she wanted a shower. And we went through in-floor showers. We knew we couldn't put a full-on shower in here. We just didn't have the room, so it had to be in-floor. We finally settled on this Tetravan shower, and it is awesome.
Hey guys, do you enjoy the outdoors but planning meals has got you down? Whether it's space, weight, refrigeration, or prep, healthy, quick, and easy, delicious meals can be a real challenge. More and more people are turning to Thrive Life freeze-dried meals because they're lightweight, need no refrigeration, have no preservatives, and taste amazing. Just add hot water and you've got a meal in less than 10 minutes. With breakfast, lunch, and dinner options, Thrive has got you covered. Check out the link in description for more info.
And I just want to show you how it works. So first you unlatch this. So this is basically going to be your flat shower floor. And you have a curtain that's magnetized that will go around, that will come up. And the guys put magnets on the ceiling here where her shower curtain is going to go right there. Right in here is your shower. You can put your shampoos, your soaps, and this is your shower head. You've got your on-off valves for your shower, and here's your shower head right here. So you see how that barely cleared this dog kennel. See, this dog kennel was very specific dimensions. We had to have this dog kennel right here that was 30 inches long, and then we had to have a Laveo dry flush toilet, all in this tiny little space right here. So you can see we were dealing with inches right here. So we had to shift this shower all the way forward in order for it to clear all of this. And I thought the guys did a pretty dang good job of getting it to work. So right here, you can't see that, but I can. It is a drain, and it will drain down to her gray tank that is underneath this van. That was also another thing. There's a lot of stuff under a van, and you have to make sure that you can fit the gray tank and not hit any of the stuff under the van. So that was another engineering feat. Now on top of here, she wanted a sink. In order to fit this shower in the front, we went with a 14 by 14 Torva sink. This is a gunmetal black. I love the black countertops with the black sink, with the black faucet. I just think it looks great. So you see how the faucet is on the side here, and we could not fit it behind because we didn't have any room back there. But one cool thing about this whole, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how do you ever get to the stuff that's underneath here? Because usually underneath our sink, we have an open cavity and you can get right into tubes and anything that you're looking for. Well, genius enough, the guys came up with this contraption on the very end here, and I'm going to show that to you. So right here on the end of the galley here, we liked everything to be accessible. So this is magnetized. I can't do that. That is magnetized so that you can get at any of your pipes, any of your electrical, any of your shower. In here we have our in-floor heating controls, a UV water filter, and all the connections for the shower and the sink. And this is, by magnetizing this, this is just such a great option here. So this van has in-floor heating with 3 vents, one of them being right here. Also, we have one midship, which is right here. And then we have one more that is in the dog kennel. So it has all 3 vents plus the in-floor heating, all connected through a hydronic system. And Jeff's going to talk about that more in a minute. So she has a lot of stuff she carries for these dogs. So up here we gave her 2 cabinets and also a bank of 4 drawers. However, she wanted 1 drawer designated just for her cooktop. So in this top drawer, we had put her induction cooktop, and that's where she wanted it. So Jeff has plugged it in, and all she does is turn it on. She cooks right here with it, and she's ready to go. Right here, we have a pop-up outlet for any appliances you may want to plug in. Right here is her fan. That can take any smells that she's got going on in the kitchen right out of the kitchen. And we were able to put a little pantry in here for her. That was a tough one. And it's not very deep because we had a lot of equipment going back here, but we made it just big enough so she could store some of her dog stuff. Next, we have a little, we call it a secret compartment, but she can put her laptop and other items, keys, things like that in this little hide-a shelf. She opted for an isotherm, but this one actually is a little bit different than what we typically use. So this one is the isotherm drawer 130, and it has a nice big ice chest on top, as well as a nice big compartment for a refrigerator on the bottom. Up here is her 3-in-1. She loves to cook. So this is a 3-in-1 induction cooker. So you can bake in this. It has like a little easy bake oven pan up here. You can do your air frying in here and also your microwaving. So super, super nice to have that when you're on the road and you're cooking your own meals. Over here, we've got her Laveo dry flush, and this box they made, and this flap goes up, and then she would sit right on the toilet like so. When she would need to change the bags out or also charge the battery, this lower part right here is magnetic and will come off. So again, a super great feature in a van. So this first one is for your porch lights, and those are attached to your awning right outside. What is convenient about this is that, you know, dogs have to go out in the middle of the night. You can turn the porch lights on and all is well. The next one is your house lights, which can be, we have a dimmer on these, which is really nice at night because you don't want really super bright lights. The next one is her Girard awning control. This will deploy out with the lights in it. It's super great. We love the Girard awnings. And then the next one is our Aqua Hot. This will tell you different things. Jeff will get into this a little bit later. And then your Serbo GX, which is your batteries, your water and your batteries. Right here is just a regular outlet. Also right here is our Waggle Pro. If you don't know about the Waggle Pro, I've got a video that you can see, and the link is right here. So what the Waggle Pro does is just it monitors the temperature, humidity, and a geofence is around your van at all times. Super great feature. It's an extra security feature on the van, and we just love it. So as you know, I love the ceilings, the slatted ceilings. We have gone to all slatted ceilings. No more shiplap because shiplap has to be glued. This is easy access, guys, if we need to get at any wires above this. So it's all slatted, it's all milled down in-house, and it's got a beautiful Rubio monocoat over it, and it just makes it so beautiful and homey in here. This air conditioner is the Nomadic X2. Notice that this one is not over the bed. She sleeps cold, our client sleeps cold, so we decided to move this to be about midship. That way it gives air to the dogs and also to her, keeping that circulation of air going, but she just didn't want it over her, blowing onto her. So that was a design feature that we needed to move, and I think it worked out beautifully. Back here is the bunk area. As you know, I love the Bettys. So she picked out one of our most popular Bettys, I think, is the Harper. And it's just a great neutral color. And she decided, because she sleeps cold, to have a minky blanket on this side. And she decided to do the cotton sheet on this side. Now, Bettys had just come out with a new feature, which is so great, because you used to have to throw this whole thing in your washer. And some washers don't accommodate this big bulky thing. And it's also not an easy feat to take this thing on and off. They have come out with a zipper out sheet. So it zips this sheet. If you wanted to change your sheet, just zips off. And they gave us an extra sheet to replace that while the other one's in the wash. So here we are in the bunk area. It looks like she has capsules, but on the outside of the van, you'll notice she does not have capsules because she couldn't have capsules because we had to keep this van stealthy. So what the guys did was they bumped this out as far as they could to extend this sleeping area, which is really great because this is a full bed. We usually do queens and kings. This is a full, but she is a single traveler, so it's going to work great. It looks like she's got pop outs here. I love these windows she chose. These are Arctic turn windows. What I love about them is they have the shade for at night, but they also have a screen. Isn't that cool? But if you don't want the screens, you can just push this little button right here, and now you have a clear screen. So these are awning style windows. So you just push the lever and they will go all the way out and give you nice airflow in the bedroom area. Then you can put the screen up like that, and you can have your screen on your window. So these are double paned windows, so they have really good insulative properties. We have our standard reading lights back here, one on each side. They have a USB port in them, and then they have the little reading light for at night for reading, and scrolling on your phone. Back here we put one long upper. That way she can store things that are long in nature. And down here we have another Arctic turn window.
Okay, so now I get to talk to you about the brains of the operation, and that would be the electrical and the plumbing systems. So we've done the plumbing on this side because she's got her water, her sink is on this side, and so we typically will put the plumbing system on the side that has the most water. So this is plumbing. On the back, we've got the Aquar fittings for the fill, and then shower and shower mixer. Love the Aquar fittings. They're made for RV applications and marine applications, and I think they're just really clean looking. We've done a little sight tube because her water tank is in there so that she can see as she fills the tank, she can see the level. Now she does have monitoring up on her servo screen for her water tanks, both her fresh water and her gray water. But when you're filling it, it's nice to be able to see the level and be able to shut off the water when it gets high. So that's why we put a little sight tube there with a light. Now you can see here that we've got L-track running down both sides of the garage, and that is so that she can secure a dog crate. We have the one built-in dog crate up front, but then she's going to have another one that she puts in the back and secures down with straps to the L-track. And we like to make everything really accessible, so we have this big door. On the bottom is an over-the-wheel well water tank. This van has a 24-gallon water tank. And then here's our AquaHot system. So it's the 125G, which is gasoline. So it taps into the gasoline tank on the van, and then it's plumbed into the water system. So it heats the hot water on demand, but then it also will heat the air inside and the floor. Super nice feature in a van. It doesn't matter how much you insulate the floor, it's always going to be cold. So having in-floor heat is a dream to be able to just take the chill off. Another thing I love about it is if you're leaving your van for a day or two or three, you can leave the in-floor heat on at a real low setting just to keep the chill off so that your water doesn't freeze and so that your batteries don't get too cold. Now the AquaHot system, like I said, does run off of the gasoline, or if you're in a diesel vehicle, it's going to run off the diesel, and it uses very little. But if you're plugged into shore power, you can also run it off of electricity. So if you're parked at your house and you're worried about it freezing, you can just plug it in and you can run that in-floor heating at a real low temperature just to keep the van weatherized for the cold temperatures. So we like to keep in mind accessibility whenever we're building stuff. All of this is built with the intention of being able to get at it when needed. You can see right here is that other vent for the AquaHot heat. And then in a lot of places, we just put air vents so that we can pull in air, because the refrigerators do get hot, and if they overheat, it can shorten the lifespan. So you can see here, we've just cut on our CNC some slats to let air in, to let it circulate. So now moving over to this side, we've got our electrical, and on the back, you can see we've got a light for the to light up the garage inside. Really nice when you're loading or unloading things. We've got our DC fuses right here, and then we've got our AC breakers down below, and then we've got a 120 volt outlet here. Now down here below, we've got a couple of Epic 300 amp hour batteries. These are wired in series to make a 24 volt bank. So it's really 24 volts running at 300 amp hours, which is about 7,200 watt hours. Plenty of power to run everything that she needs for several days. And then up above, we've got all of our Victron components. We've got in the back here, we've got our inverter charger. We've got a couple of Orion smart chargers. These run the alternator charging from the vehicle's batteries. When she's driving, she's getting double the amount of amps. Each of these puts out 360 watts, so she's got 720 watts from her battery to charge her system. So if you just do some simple math, if you're getting 720 watts and her batteries are 7,200 watt hours, in 10 hours, she could charge her batteries from 0 to 100%. Now, most of the times people aren't at 0. They're usually at 40, 50, 60%. So if you drive a few hours each day, it's usually going to top off your battery bank. Right here's our solar charge controller. We use the Lynx distributor to organize everything. And then back here, we've got a Orion 24 to 12 volt converter. So because it's a 24 volt system, we step it down to 12 volts to run a lot of the devices in the van. Now, the one thing that runs off of the 24 volts is the air conditioner. So you can see we've got a breaker right here, and we just tie that right into the Lynx distributor through a breaker. And then we've got the negative from the air conditioner here. So we're able to have 4 different positions: our 12 volt DC, our solar, our alternator, and our inverter on the 4 spots that are on the Lynx distributor. And then we get a 5th by adding it onto the end of the bus bar and putting this breaker for the air conditioner. Now, another thing that this van has is Starlink up on the roof. I don't know if you can see it, but back here there's a little DC power supply that runs the Starlink Mini. So the Starlink Minis require about 20 volts at 100 watts. And so it has a really specific need or requirement for the power. And so this little power supply provides the exact amount of power that it needs. So if you want to see how we do all that, how we set these up for vans and RVs to optimize everything for the Starlink Mini, then I'll put a link right here. So right here we have our shore power charging. Furrion just came out with this gray one that matches this van perfectly. So it's a nice looking little shore power inlet. It's 30 amp. And then another thing that we had to do, because we put this awning style window, if this window happened to be open and the sliding door came open, it would hit the window and break it. So we found this little stop. It's a little sliding door stop. So you can see right there is this little stop. So what happens is when I slide it back, the wheel just goes right into that and stops right there. And so you can see we stopped it. We placed this so it would stop it just short of the window so she can open and close the window with the sliding door partially opened. And it opens far enough that she can get in and out of the van. Now, if she really wanted to, she could go all the way back. You know, she needed to open all the way. But most of the time, she's just going to use it on that stop right there and be able to open her window. So this is the time in the video where we like to share our favorite things about the van. So do you want to go first?
I'll let you. We usually have the same one, so it'll be interesting.
We do. You know, it took a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and I don't know, racking our brains to figure out how to fit everything in this small van that we did. But I would say overall, my favorite things are just some of the things that we engineered into this that we're able to give her, that at times we just thought, we just can't do a shower. A shower is just not going to work. Or a pantry, a sliding pantry is not going to work. But somehow we just kept at it, and we figured out ways to do these things. So I think probably my favorite was that we were able to fit the Tetravan folding shower into the van and still fit the full kennel that she needed. So we needed a long bench and still be able to open that shower. So the fact that we're able to make all that work and give her the shower that she wanted, I think was my favorite thing. And the Tetravan for a smaller van, I think is a great option. It's not as easy to use as a, enclosed wet room, but it works. So in a pinch, if it's cold and it's too cold to use your outdoor shower, or you're not at a campground, you're someplace and you're hot and sweaty after a long day, you're out boondocking, and it gets cold at night, and you need a shower. You don't want to climb into that beautiful Betty's bedding, all sweaty and dirty. You can now take a shower inside the van.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
How about you?
I think my favorite thing is the windows in the bunk area. I absolutely, when they put them in, I'm like, I love these because they have built-in screens, they have built-in blinds. And then we just noticed this week that they have, what's that silver stuff on the back?
Oh, reflective materials, insulative solar material on the outside.
So on the outside, through the window, you can see the reflective material, which I'm sure that's why they're so great, keeping the heat and cold out. So I just love the Arctic Tern windows. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I will say they're not the easiest windows to install. You have to make a trim ring, fitting them for the depth and making your walls all work with those. It takes some real planning, but the guys at Arctic Tern are great. If you need help with that, they'll work with you to figure out what depth you need, but they are really nice windows. Okay, so I think that's a wrap on this video. We want to thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos about van life, van building, van products, then please consider subscribing and be sure to smash that like button. And we'll see you in the next video. Jeff,
Lisa,
with Thrive Vans,
Thrive On.
See ya.